Okay, try again. Yeah, now as I was trying to do in my last video, okay, let's call it a practice. Gaming in the future will definitely, number one, will need to have a great story, immersive story that gets the player into the game. Gameplay, how the gameplay plays itself will also be important. Graphics will, over time, will lose its, I guess, its longevity. Like, it'll get better, but the thing is, what will be the most important thing is how game companies design their games to make them not samey. If you get my drift, because that's what's basically going to end up happening with gaming in the future. Is basically it'll plateau as games get better, and if gaming companies don't be creative and make great stories or immersive game, interesting sort of look or feel or whatever, that will affect the gaming future as well as that gaming company itself. So it's basically vital for gaming companies to sort of try and get out of this structural thinking or trying to make big bucks, because the way you make big bucks in gaming is not ripping off players or treating with them with no disregard. If you treat your game with respect and just make a good damn video game with a great story, an immersive story, they're going to be happy with the game, depending what you decide to, a gaming company decides to make. And like, it's going to be the most absolutely vital thing in the future, because as you've seen, the Unreal 5 graphical next stage, it's getting phenomenal, which it looks great, all the lighting effects and everything like that. But the thing is, the game can look beautiful and all lushy and blah blah blah, but the thing is, that's all great and all, but the thing is, this is one thing I noticed of Star Wars, is it looked great, it had that great Star Wars feel, but story elements were sort of lacking, and the gameplay elements definitely sucked ass with the sneaking and whatnot. I basically quit because of it. And I don't even want to go back, even that they're making improvements. Like, this is the vital future of the gaming as well, is basically how they launch. So the pressure will be definitely on the game company. They might not like it, but the thing is, it's vital that they do make good video games, because, as I said, it will stagnate in the future. So anyway, yeah, I think that sounds perfect. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to discuss, is because I've been gaming since the age of 5. So I started playing the Atari games, Space Invaders and whatnot. Phoenix was one of my favourite games. Same as Space Invaders, Super Nintendo. I've got the list of games I like on this in the Super Nintendo, is just crazy. PlayStation, Nintendo. I've literally played just about every system, and even had a fiddle with game designing and whatnot myself, like back in those days with Commodore 64s and Commodore Amigas, and some of those games I miss. I'd love to see some of those games brought into the future and redesigned and stuff like that, because that's basically what we need. People complain about remakes, but there's so many great games out there that are just missing their opportunity because of that hate of remakes as well. So that can also, but the thing is, like, the gaming company can find a story amongst that and maybe continue on with the story, part 2, you know, or something else, something catchy, you know, depending what game they've got in their gaming library. But there's plenty of games in the gaming library that I'd love to see get fully restored and brought back, like brought into this future, and love to see them all graphically updated and just play them. Like, I could name that many. It's not funny. Yeah. And this is also vital for the gaming future as well, that we gamers can also get a little bit complacent, but this is a different thing. The complacency is because of the game companies. We've been playing games for a very long time now, so we've seen, you know, there's certain good stories that stick out, and there's certain really unique stories and unique games out there. But the thing is, as I said, gaming can stagnate. The player itself can stagnate if the game company keeps, you know, rolling the same freaking dice, you know, and hitting 6 and, you know, just going, oh yeah, let's go with 6 and we'll just make the same freaking game again, you know, and don't really innovate and tell a good story and, you know, blah blah blah. That's basically is gaming future is just definitely going to depend on gaming companies to sort of, you know, stop trying to freaking rip off players and you know, just make a damn good video game, because that, as you can see with gaming companies, like look what happened with Concord. Look how much money they just chucked into that game, and that's because it's got no substance. It's got nothing that attracts the player. And there's so many PlayStation games in the catalog, even on the Xbox side as well. There's so many games in their catalogs that would you know, definitely need a lovely refresh, you know, or the next one. Like I could give an example. Look at Doom. Look how Doom's evolved over the years. One of the greatest action shooting games in history. Look how long it's lasted. It's because it continues to evolve. And that's another thing that's also vital for the gaming future, is that a gaming company doesn't stay stagnant, or developers and what have you, even investors can't get stuck on this. You want to make money, you know how you make money? You make decent games with a decent story that immerses the player. Simple as that. That's how you make money. Not putting micro freaking transactions in, or giving half a story and then making it later, you know. This stuff's not flying anymore, you know. Yes, it's expensive to make video games, and it's a lot of pressure. We get it, right? As gamers, we do get it, and we do appreciate the hard work that developers put in. But what we don't appreciate is getting ripped off, getting a buggy freaking shitty game or a freaking shit story, or just, yeah, it's totally mediocre. And as you can tell, with Concord, there's so many gaming failure stories out there. And as you can tell, if gaming companies if they just choose to stick with this stupid either, oh, let's try and get this group in. You don't have to worry about LGB freaking Q, you know, alphabet. You don't need to worry about that. Just make a freaking damn video game. You can put it in the story, like Last of Us, if you want to, you know, but you got to do it in the right way. You know, Ubisoft is learning the hard way about how not to make video games now. And they have got some good video games in their library with great stories, but there hasn't been much evolution in Ubisoft I could name a few companies that there's not much evolution. They keep trying to do the same thing, keep turning the same wheel, and that. And yeah, you know, okay, example of just a unique idea. Okay, right. This is just an idea. This is an idea, right? I like the Division 1, the where you go into the Iceland and you gotta freaking survive, and you got the virus, you gotta get clothes on. Now they could make a freaking game out of that, not just a online, just you were there. They could make a literal game out of that. But you know, yeah, we're still waiting for it. You know, there's something there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's stuff there for every game company that has probably made games in the past that they could critique and make better, or make like basically a new game out of it, because basically they've got most of the formula there. They just basically need to make the game with a great story, great gameplay, you know, immersive, as I said, bang. You know, that is what's going to happen. Like Ubisoft in the future is basically will need to do this. Gaming companies like Destiny as well, Bungie, same thing. They need to stick with what works, making guns, unique guns to go into the strikes, raids, you know, armor kits or whatever the armor synths. As I said on one of my things, the armor synths definitely got to be part of the grind. So you basically are collecting unique armor and unique looks, and you know, definitely bring some of that Taken King sort of time back. You know, I'm talking about near the end, just before Triumphs. That was probably one of the best times of Destiny's period, because all the raids got redone, and random rolls and whatnot. That's where they need to get back to. They need to get back to that foundation. Have a good PvP if you're going to have PvP. Have a good freaking strike system. Have a good, decent raid. Have decent loot systems where the player wants to go in there and get the gun, get the freaking armor synth, and it's a good, decent strike that they enjoy playing. Like, see, this is the thing. It's not hard. They say it's hard. It's just they're lazy and they just want to make big bucks. But the thing is, you won't make the big bucks, because guess what? Your big bucks depends on the gamer. It does very much depend on the gamer, and you can piss off a gamer, and you know, and it's proved to show with many games. And because, you know, we are sick of just seeing the same thing. You're rolling a dice and going, let's make a video game, but we'll do this and this, and we'll make tons of money, and it's fucking dog shit. We're sick of it. We're over it. You know? And you will fail. You will fail to make money, and you will fall. That's it. That's just, you know. So anyway, I think I've said my bit. I went on a bit of a rant now. My apologies, but you know, it just needs to be said. Like, you know, I've been playing games since, you know, the age of 5. I'm 50 now. You know, and I love my video games. I love the great stories, but I have noticed one thing that's missing in certain little games that have been coming out lately in the few 5 or something years. Stories. There's some great ones, but they're very far between. You know, I'm pretty sure that you would agree that they're very far between. We have some smash hits like Elder Scrolls, or you know, Elder Ring, and stuff like that. But the thing is, there's other gaming companies that have been around for, you know, donkey's years, like Blizzard and what have you. And they just keep going with the same formula. It's like, dude, you can't. You need to give us a great story, great gameplay, and it's got to immerse us. And it's how you write the story, or how you present your game, or how you design the game. You know, and Elder Ring, and you know, Boulder Gates, you know, Myth Wukong, you know, Last of Us. There's so many great games out there, right? But the thing is, yes, there's so many great games out there, but there's so many freaking shit ones. And in 2024, it's quite sort of, you know, amazing that this is happening. Well, it's not amazing, it's no surprise, but the thing is, it's amazing that game companies and developers and investors haven't woken up that we're not putting up with your crap anymore. We're basically, look, if you're going to make dog shit, we ain't going to buy it. If it smells like shit, it's shit, and we basically, we can sniff it. We can smell it a mile away. Okay, anyway, yeah, it's just an Australian analogy. You know, if it smells like shit, it usually is, you know. And, yeah, and game companies have just got to realise that is, you know, that the pressure is on now. And look, these little indie companies are showing you up. They're showing you, look, they can make a decent game, less money, probably less pressure on whatever, maybe a lot of time, but less pressure, in a relaxed gaming creative. And look at them, they bring out great games like Stray, and you know, let's just name a few. Stray, there's so many great little indie games out there. So the pressure is on, because these indie game companies, they could be the next, they're the ones that are going to be, you know, sweeping in the money, because they bring out great stories, and not only that, they bring in immersive gameplay that immerses the player and basically just hooks the player, you know. And not every game company needs to hook the player, but you need to hook them in what you're in the way you present yourself as a game company, how you treat your players, what sort of game are you giving them, is it good quality, is the story good, is it well written. Okay, that's a lot of pressure, sure, we get it, we do get it, and we're not trying to be unappreciative. It's not about that. It's just, the thing is, we're sick of seeing the dog shit. That's basically it, right? And as I said, as gaming graphics get better, it's just going to plateau even more. So there's going to be even more pressure on you to sort of think of unique stories or unique gameplay in a mix with a great story to bring out, you know, to make yourself a shining star. And the thing is, as I said, the way you make money is to make a good damn video game. And these ones that are making damn good money is because they're making great damn video games. Stop sitting there sucking and being crybabies, right? Okay, we're over it. You know, we're over getting treated like suckers. You know, and also a message to the gamers that are out there that do, you know, encourage this behaviour. You know, you just need to basically stop supporting these game companies and what have you. But that's your choice. You know, what I like is different. And sure, you know, and that's another thing that you got to realise. Sometimes you don't need the masses to like your video game. Right? Because eventually that video game will get picked up. I want to finish on that thought, because it will get picked up. Okay? It will get picked up. And you need to know the right time. And this is another thing that I noticed. Gaming companies always release their games at the stupid, all at the same freaking time. And there's a whole year. You know? Spread yourselves out. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. Worry about making a great video game. Release it at the right time, when you're ready, when the game's ready, and then ching ching ching, you will be in the money. as long as you've done these things, you should have a successful game. And maybe only 5,000 people might pick it up and like it or love it. But the thing is, word spreads on a good video game, a great video game. Eventually it will get picked up. Maybe it'll get picked up then, when it first gets released. Okay, fingers crossed on that, right? But you can't hope for that. This is what I'm just, my message to the devs and the investors and that. You can't hope on that. You got to hope. You got to go on the fact it's the confidence of the video game, the product that you're putting out there, and that. And if you have to release a beta so we can have a play of it, I don't mind betas. I actually like doing betas, playing betas, and giving the game company feedback and saying, and it's great when game companies listen to the feedback and they communicate with us and whatnot. We love that, right? But we don't want any sort of empty promises or rip-off crap, or bad video games. We just don't want it anymore. So I think, I've rambled on about it enough. And anyway, if you like my content, don't forget to hit that like button. That really helps me. And if you really want to continue watching some of the videos or stuff that I do quite a lot of variety content. Hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.